From Rhaenyra and Alicent getting ready for a full-on war, to 5 new dragons being introduced. Here's everything we know so far about House of the Dragon Season 2, starting off with what the next season will be covering. The Season 1 finale left us with King Viserys' death, leaving a gnarly situation for Alicent to misinterpret his dying wish. Now it's black versus green, and things are about to get messy. We're talking battles, dragons, and major deaths, guys. Now, at first, Rhaenyra was trying to be diplomatic and avoid a bloody conflict, hoping to win over the support of some powerful houses. She even sent her son on a peace mission, but she soon realized that her mercy was her biggest mistake. Poor Lucerys got caught up in a dragon fight and met a fiery end at the hands of none other than Aemon Targaryen. Yikes! Reeling from the loss of 2 children in one day, Rhaenyra is ready to bring the heat and let her man Daemon lose on the greens. No more Mrs. Nice Queen. It's an all-out war. Get ready to see some serious action. As the war between the blacks and the greens heats up, we can probably expect to see some fierce battles take place. Rhaenyra may have initially been reluctant to engage in a full-blown conflict, but now that her son has been killed, it's time to take off the kid gloves. With the support of her husband, Daemon Targaryen, and their own dragon, Caraxes, Rhaenyra is ready to unleash her fury on the greens. But let's not forget that Alicent Hightower and her allies aren't going to go down without a fight either, and they have their own formidable forces at their disposal. It's going to be a battle for the ages, with lives and kingdoms on the line. And with House Baratheon and House Arryn still up for grabs in terms of support, there's no telling which way the wind will blow. But the main question everyone's been asking is, if the last season's cast will come back for Season 2. Absolutely. Okay, there's no official word on the cast of House of the Dragon yet, but we do have some pretty solid expectations based on Season 1.
Your occupation of this island is at an end. You're to relinquish the dragon's egg, disband your army, banish your whore, and leave Dragonstone by order of His Grace King Viserys.
Where is the king? I don't see him.
Livia Cook, who played Alicent Hightower, Emma Darcy as Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen, and Matt Smith as Prince Daemon Targaryen, are all expected to come back for more fiery action. Not to mention, Fabian Frankel as Kristen Cole, Eve Best as Rhaenys Targaryen, Steve Toussaint as Corlys Velaryon, Rhys Ifans as Otto Hightower, and Sonoya Mizuno as Mysaria are also expected to make a comeback. And let's not forget about the young Targaryens, played by Tom Glyn Carney as Aegon II Targaryen, Ewan Mitchell as Aemon Targaryen. They're all expected to make a fiery return as well. But hold on, there's also some bad news for fans of Millie Alcock and Emily Carney, who played younger versions of Rhaenyra and Alicent in Season 1. They're not expected to make a return in the upcoming season. Still, the show's creator Ryan Condal didn't completely shut the door on their future appearances, saying yet to keep the possibility open. So, who knows what the future holds for those two? Apparently, we might see a major missing book character too. In the book Fire and Blood, Viserys and Alicent Hightower actually have a 4th child named Daeron, who was never shown or even mentioned in the first season of House of the Dragon. Apparently, the young boy is around 15 by the end of Season 1, but fans just assume the show cut him out and gave his storylines to other characters. I mean, it would be pretty awkward to suddenly throw in a new character next season and be like, oh, by the way, Alicent had another kid, but hold on to your dragons, because that might actually be the plan. George R.R. Martin himself confirmed that Daeron exists in the House of the Dragon world, but they didn't have time to fit him in this season. Creator Ryan Condal spilled the beans to Variety that Daeron is hanging out in Old Town with Robert Hightower, Otto's brother.
Silence.
Un más. Hay más.
While Daeron becomes relevant to the story, and trust us, he'll make an appearance. But he's not the only one making a return. So are the Starks. While the first season had us focused on the Targaryens, the Velaryons, and the Hightowers, Season 2 is pulling in more families to the fray, including the Starks. Yep, you heard it right. The same Starks that we know and love from Game of Thrones. In the book Fire and Blood, Cregan Stark, the current Lord of Winterfell, takes center stage and plays a major role in the events that unfold. When asked about the casting of Cregan Stark, Ryan Condal teased, "We will cast Cregan Stark at some point, but no comment otherwise." So, while we may not know who will be bringing the Stark family to life just yet, one thing is for sure, House of the Dragon is about to get even more intense, and we can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Of course, we can't talk about the House of the Dragon without talking about the dragons themselves. Let's look at all the new dragons that we'll be seeing in Season 2. At a recent screening in LA, Ryan Condal gave fans a little sneak peek into Season 2 of the Game of Thrones prequel. Get this, we're going to be introduced to not one, not two, but 5 new dragons. That's right, I'm talking about 5 more scaly, fire-breathing creatures to add to the mix. And if that wasn't enough to get you pumped, Condal also spilled the beans that filming is set to begin very shortly in 2023. So when can we expect to finally watch Season 2? Filming is set to start in spring 2023 in Hertfordshire, England, before moving to sunny Spain. But when it comes to exact release dates, HBO has been pretty tight-lipped. What's worse is that Ewan Mitchell, who plays one of the characters, is going to be busy as heck filming for most of the year. And the big boss at HBO, Casey Bloys, is asking fans to be chill and patient because they don't want to promise a date and then have to change it later. They're aiming for sometime in 2024.
I will do you the considerable courtesy of assuming there is a good reason for the outrage of my treatment here this morning.
My sincerest regrets for the lack of ceremony.
But nothing's set in stone yet. There's also going to be another significant change in Season 2. One of the showrunners won't be returning. Miguel Sapochnik, the co-showrunner who directed some epic episodes of Game of Thrones and the pilot of House of the Dragon, has announced he's stepping down from his role. Don't worry though, he'll still be sticking around as an executive producer. Taking over as sole showrunner for Season 2 will be Ryan Condal, who co-wrote 4 episodes of the first season. And there's a new director in town, Alan Taylor, who directed some of the iconic episodes of Game of Thrones, including the finales of Seasons 1 and 2, is set to direct multiple episodes and also serve as an executive producer. It's a bummer to see Sapochnik go, but we're excited to see what Condal and Taylor have in store for us next season. So, how many episodes will we get in Season 2? Apparently, it's going to be less than Season 1. So apparently, House of the Dragon's second season will have only 8 episodes instead of 10. And fans are pretty upset about it. According to Deadline, the change in episode count forced the writers to do some rewrites. But HBO has reassured fans that it wasn't a budget issue, but rather a decision made to serve the story better. Still, fans have taken to social media to express their skepticism about this decision, but we'll have to wait and see how the season turns out.
Oh my god. I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can. There's no explosions, so just got to bear with me. Yeah? So the best actor I worked with, I mean, genuinely, I mean this from the bottom of my heart, there were so many, for so many different reasons.
Fingers crossed it won't disappoint. And that's everything we know about House of the Dragon Season 2.